Hi guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be another reading vlog. It's going to be a fun, cozy fantasy reading vlog. I have mentioned in a few videos that I've been missing fantasy so much and I need to get back into it. The last fantasy book slash series that I read was, I think, Divine Rivals, which was a couple months ago. So I need to get back into fantasy. I started The Cruel Prince a couple hours ago and I'm 13% of the way through. It's by Holly Black. I feel like everyone has heard of The Cruel Prince. I think it's The Cruel Prince trilogy, and I've heard some mixed reviews. So I really like it so far. I honestly really like it. If you don't know, I'm just gonna kind of explain what like the first chapter is about. I wouldn't consider that a spoiler because it's like the first scene. But basically these three girls, they're sisters and there's two twins. So Vivian's the oldest and then the twins, Taryn and Jude, they live in the mortal world and it's like a modern world. There's phones, like malls, everything. One day they're just chilling at their house and this guy shows up and kills their parents and is like, I'm taking y'all to the fairy world. So that's literally like what the first scene is. And then the next couple chapters are just kind of like setting up the fairy world and like where they're living, what's going on, just stuff like that. And that scene is like so identical to ACOTAR because obviously in the first ACOTAR book, Feyre kills the wolf, the fairies, or one fairy comes to her house and it takes her to their world. So definitely set up like ACOTAR in the first like chapter or two, but I'm obsessed with it. I started reading on my Kindle. I actually did order the physical copy of the first book and the second book, so those should be here. It says tomorrow, so I might be able to read a little bit in the physical copy of the book, so hopefully it's here tomorrow. But I am loving it so far. I'm so excited. Like I said, I'm 13% of the way through and I have a feeling that I'm gonna be binge reading this. And because I'm getting the second copy, which it's on, the second one's on Kindle Unlimited anyway, but I'm honestly gonna try to binge read the first and second book in this vlog. So we'll see how long it takes me. And yeah, let me know down below if you have read this series, if you like it, give me some motivation for the whole series. Yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video and let's get right into it. It's a few hours later. I'm now at 27% of the way through and I wanted to talk about how different this book is with its modern fantasy. So in this one, I think I mentioned in the first clip how they had like cell phones and stuff, like it's modern times, which is like Harry Potter, you know, like at Hogwarts, they were in the fairy world or like the magical world, but then when they went back, it was like modern day. And it's the same way with this book, but it's so weird how easy it is to go back and forth between the mortal world and the fairy world, which I guess again goes back to Harry Potter because it's kind of the same way, like they can cross back and forth pretty easily. But it's just very different from ACOTAR. Like they don't have to travel through, well actually I'm honestly not sure, but from what it seems like, they just woke up one day and was like, we want to go shopping in the mortal world. So they just like flew on something, and it's like the way they make it seem is like it's just over a quick little like bay or something to get to the mortal world. So they just crossed over, went to the mall, and they mentioned the Apple store. So like it's definitely very modern. But the more I'm thinking about it, I guess it really is just like Harry Potter, because in Harry Potter it's the modern world and it's pretty easy to go back and forth. But that's just something that threw me off a little bit because I did not expect the book to be like this, but I'm still loving it. It is so good. It's a little difficult to learn the names of all the different people they're talking about, and some of the things that the like princes and princesses are doing are a little, they're just bullying a lot. It's a little difficult because I know that eventually I am going to probably like some of those princes or princessing because it's enemies to lovers. So I'm not entirely sure who it is, but I'm just like, I feel like I hate you now, but I'm gonna end up loving you, which I guess was the same as like Rhysand and ACOTAR. So yeah, just full circle. I feel like everything, I can compare this book to so many other fantasy books, which they're allowed to be different. Like I'm saying, I still love this book, but it's just so good. I'm 27% of the way through. I am gonna take a break and eat, and then we're gonna keep reading. It is the next morning, and I am now 54% of the way through, which is page 213. And guys, I literally I feel like I'm a broken record, but this book is so good. A really sad part just happened. I wouldn't consider this a spoiler. If you absolutely don't want to hear anything about this, then maybe just skip like 20 seconds, but I wouldn't consider this a spoiler. But they tried saving a girl from the fairy world because she was just so traumatized by like the glamour that they had over her, and that just shows like how, I don't know, just like scary the fairy world can be. So I don't know, that part was really sad. I literally like teared up a little bit, but the book is so good. I feel like I have a new theory for something that's going to happen. So I don't know if we're gonna find that out maybe in this book, or I don't know. It's literally kind of a wild theory, but it's about who someone's father might be. I have a theory because of something that was said in the last chapter, but I'm just absolutely loving this book so much. I feel like I can picture all the characters in my head, and I don't know, it's giving ACOTAR vibes so much. It's literally insane how much it's reminding me of it, and I don't think I've felt this way about a book in so long, and that is just the best feeling to have. So this is definitely on track to be a 5 stars for me. It really is. It really, really is. So I'm so excited. We're about to go grocery shopping, but I have the whole day to read, and I'm 54% of the way through. So I'm not even joking, gonna finish this book today. So yeah, we are going to go grocery shopping. I need to shower, and then I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Looks crazy, but I took a shower. I feel so much better. I haven't read that much since I last talked to y'all. I'm only at 65%, so I read like 10 more percent, but I wanted to give out a quick like not a disclaimer, like warning for people that want to read this who like romance in books, romantasy, because this book is not that. There has been like 0 romance so far, and I'm 65% of the way in. I think that I did just get the first hint of like the enemies to lovers trope. Like I think that we may start heading in that direction now towards the end of the book, which I'm really happy about because I've been waiting for that, and I honestly was like starting to get not impatient, but I was just like, when is it gonna happen, you know? Does not take away how much I love the book though. There was just a scene where it was like a coronation for a new king or something, and so like all of the like lords and queens and kings from the different courts were there, and it was giving me like Crescent City vibes now. I was getting ACOTAR vibes, now it's Crescent City, because there were, like I said, just different kings and queens. And so there was like a queen of the like undersea, which obviously if you read Crescent City, they have like a queen that lives in the ocean, and she like rules over all of the like underwater people. And then there were just some other ones, but it was definitely giving Crescent City vibes. So I actually looked up like when this book came out compared to ACOTAR, and Crescent City, which obviously I think Crescent City's like really, really new, like the last couple years, but ACOTAR came out years before this. So it's not enough to where I'm like, oh, she copied ACOTAR. It's not like that at all, but it's definitely giving like hints of ACOTAR. But I'm fine with that because like I said, ACOTAR is like my life. So like having a book that makes me feel that same way after not reading ACOTAR for, gosh, probably almost like a year now. I read that a year ago, but it's so good to be back and loving a fantasy series so much. But I'm about to have to take a break from reading because I need to go drop my car back off at Caliber Collision. That's gonna be a whole story time and another vlog coming up, but I'm gonna take a break, go drop my car off, come back home, and probably honestly just sit on the couch and keep reading. I want to finish this book today so bad, and I think that I can do it. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, it's actually the next morning. I did not end up reading as much as I thought I was going to be able to yesterday. I just had some work to get done. But I am now I'm 81% of the way through. It's like 10 a.m. right now, and I'm gonna seriously try to finish this in 2 days. So I think I have a few hours until it's like my 48-hour mark or like around that of starting this. So I'm going to sit here and try to literally read the rest of this. I'm on page 321 and there's 374 pages. So we're gonna see if I can finish this in the next like literally few hours. And then this will be the fastest I've read a book in a really long time. So I'm gonna try to finish that. I think I did find my first kind of like cringy scene when I was reading yesterday after I last talked to y'all. I don't want to say like who ended up not getting together, but the first like kiss happened in the book, and the way that it happened was just a little cringy to me. I was like, I am not the biggest fan of how this just happened, so that was a little disappointing, but it wasn't anything that just like ruins the book for me. Like, I'm still absolutely in love with the book, but that did happen. That's like the first part of the book that I was just kind of like, not a fan of. But I'm gonna keep reading and talk to y'all. I feel like I had something else to say that was about something that I read yesterday in the book, and now I just cannot remember. There's so many characters in this book that it's hard for me to sometimes remember like who is who. Not like I don't forget who is who, but it takes me a minute sometimes, especially when they're talking about some of the like different brothers and sisters that are in the court that are like the kids of Eldred. See, I don't even know, because there's literally so many different people in power. So that's a little confusing, but not, again, anything. It's honestly still so much easier than like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass and stuff. Those books are insane with how many characters there are. But yeah, on chapter 27, I'm about to sit here and read and try to finish this book. I finally finished it. I say finally as if I've been reading this for like 2 weeks. It took me a few days, but I finished it, and I am so conflicted on what to rate this. I feel like I want to rate it 5 stars, but I feel like I should honestly just like wait a day or two and think on it. But even then, I feel like it would still be like a 4.5. This book was so good, and I do want to say that if you have not read it or have not heard of it, the first book is definitely YA. I don't know off the top of my head if the next 2 are YA or not, but this one had, I mean, I'm talking like almost 0 romance. There was like a kiss or 2, and that was it. So if you are someone who like needs romance, if you're a romantic girl or boy, then yeah, this book is not, you may just have to like push through it. But the overall plot and the way that it was written, I was just obsessed with. I mean, literally it was insane. I did not, going into this, think that I was gonna love this book so much. And the fact that reading this was just kind of like a spur of the moment thing. Like, I wasn't planning on reading this. I was just looking through Kindle Unlimited and I found it, and I was like, oh, like I've heard of that series. So I clicked on it, and yeah, it ended up being a potential 5 star. So I think I'm gonna wait and see what I'm gonna rate it. I don't know when this video is going to go up, honestly. If I figure out what my rating is going to be before this video goes up, I'll put it down below. But if not, just know that it's sitting between a 4.5 and a 5. But I'm so excited to finish the rest of the series. The physical copy's still not here yet. I don't know why the tracking has not updated. It was supposed to be here today, but the tracking hasn't updated for 2 days now from when I ordered it. It's like it's not moving. It's like it's stuck somewhere. I don't know what's going on. I ordered 4 books, and none of this tracking is updating, so I'm a little bummed about that. But I think I'm definitely gonna wait to start the second book until I at least get the physical copy. I'm starting to get a little tired of reading on my Kindle, and I have a huge book haul coming up, so I have a lot of physical books to read. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this series. It's so good, and not everyone likes spice, so like this would be literally perfect for you if you don't like spice. I really liked the main character. The side characters were a little, I feel like I didn't feel like a giant connection to the characters, which is so weird because you would think that if I was gonna rate the book 5 stars, I would have a really big connection, but I just didn't. But I think that's because there was no romance. Because you know when you have a relationship that you're like rooting for and you're like, yes, yes, like I need y'all to, you know, just like ACOTAR. It's like everyone was rooting for Feyre and Rhysand, but because that enemies to lovers trope didn't really even like start to pick up at all until like almost the end of the book, it's just like I didn't connect to the characters like that, but I did love the characters. It was funny because in the epilogue of the book, they visited a Target in the mortal world, and I don't know, I just really liked the contrast between the fairy world and the mortal world. I liked how it was written and how, like I said, it's very easy for them to go back and forth. And I don't know, I feel like I like fantasy where it's modern, but I also obviously love fantasy where it's not a modern world. Overall, I would definitely recommend the book. I don't want to say I'd recommend the series yet because I haven't read the other ones, but let me know down below if you have read the whole series, and please just let me know if it's worth it. I'm definitely gonna read the second one anyway, but let me know if the second and third book are good. I don't know if there's any novellas in between or what, but yeah, absolutely loved it. So happy that I read this book, and I would definitely recommend it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. It means the world to me. Y'all are my besties, and I just appreciate every single one of you so much. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Goodreads if you have not already. They're always linked down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.